and you're not a lawyer. So
No.
how did you get the training? Did they train you?
Yeah, they did. Basically, like I said, there are 7 rounds in the draft. The first rounders are really complex. The 7th rounders are pretty straightforward. They're basically going to be a 3 or a 4 year deal. And really the only variable that you're arguing about, 2 things. One is injury protection, whether or not that second year, if they were to go on injured reserve, their salary stays the same or it goes down to 2/3 of their salary. And the second thing is basically just their signing bonus. And the signing bonus, they're going to get the rookie minimum salary no matter what. But what they negotiate for is the signing bonus, which for a 7th round pick ranges from anywhere from $21,000 to maybe $40,000. But obviously what the agents want, and this is really all you have to do with doing a 7th round pick, is you try to, you look at the previous year and you try to keep the increase over the previous year in the same slot in check. Ideally, you want to keep it. I'm not going to go any higher than 3% over what last year's guy got. So that's not too hard, really. I mean, it's hard because the agents are going to fight, and what they want is they want a 4% increase, because then they can recruit other players saying, we get higher than market. Whereas we want to keep it in check, because even though it might only be a difference of, $500, 25 instead of 26, the increases matter. That's what the agents boast about. And when you get into, I've been at one of my daughter's soccer games and argued with a guy over $50 in a signing bonus. It was ridiculous, but that got him from like a 2.9% increase to a 3.1. So you don't have to be a lawyer to know that. The problem is the agents are almost all lawyers. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but they also seem to have like 10 times more time to scrutinize a deal. They'll look at the same pick in last year's draft. They have a team of researchers that just goes through the whole contract and trying to find out, last year you said he had to achieve this and this, or this or this. Now you're saying he has to achieve this and this. And that's a huge difference in a contract. He has to do 2 things instead of 1. And, it could be buried in language. You think they're not going to see it, but they do. So when you get into the middle round picks, it helps to be a lawyer, but if you've done enough 7th and 6th and you can familiarize yourself enough with what the variables are, then you know what to argue. And this year the 2nd round pick was tough. It was real difficult, not only because I was going with one of the best agents out there, but there were just so many more variables and guaranteed money. And what's it guaranteed for? Is it guaranteed if he's injured, or guaranteed if he's not skillful enough? And but it went pretty well. Like I said, I lean on my boss a lot. I get calls from other teams, and they'll say, "Oh my gosh, I was looking at Terrence McGee's contract. How did he figure that out? How did he think of that?" And they don't always want to call him because they think he's busy, so they'll call me, and I'll explain. He's real smart. He is a lawyer too, so it definitely helps. Yeah. So.
In the last 6 months, USA Today has had probably 6 articles about religious life in pro sports.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering, can you kind of give us an overview of how that is in the perspective of the team that you're with?
Sure. Yeah, there are several guys on the team who are Christians, and just to name a few, Lee Evans, Jarris Bird, the young kid we signed, Brad Butler, George Wilson. I know there are a lot more, but they're very outspoken, and every team has, obviously, I'm sure, a core of guys who are Christians on the team. We have a team chaplain who's very visible. He's works with Athletes in Action. Fred Raines is his name. He's around the building a lot. The guys like him. He's perfect at what he does. He's not a guy who walks around and preaches at people, and he's real personable. He's funny, and he has a way of getting to know guys, and he's a low pressure kind of guy. But when things are bad, I mean, for a young kid to have an injury and think his career's over, something he's dreamed about all his life, where do you go? Your teammates, they don't have time to console you. They're moving on. They got to study. They got to work. All of a sudden, this Fred Raines guy might be a good guy to talk to. And so when things are bad, he's around for the good and the bad. But I think from my point of view, you talk about religion and Christianity, and it's a matter of Houghton was real good for me because I grew up in a Christian environment, and Houghton definitely kept me on track spiritually. I mean, I can't say it was a huge awakening, but it was just reinforced everything, especially during your late teens and early 20s for potentially tumultuous years of your life. To come out year 4, more spiritually reinforced it's a big deal, and it's a net positive for sure. But when you're in the workplace, you don't want to preach at people, but you want to, God tugs at you and gives you the opportunity to show that you're different. If somebody's going through a hard time, hey, I'm going to pray for you. And that goes a long way with people, and I think that's...
Are there tensions among the players because of different kinds of religious commitments, even to other international religions that are among the players other than Christianity?
I don't see it. I don't see that really, at least with our team. But I see, for instance, when we go on the road, like tomorrow, the team plane will be 1 o'clock, I think we take off, we'll land it, we lose an hour, we get there at 4, which is really 3 o'clock. They're on their own for dinner, but there's a chapel service and a mass. They're not required, but they're very well attended. And guys go, and even though it's a Saturday, they're very well attended. And I don't see a conflict though. Those are maybe the only two faiths. I mean, I know it's all Christianity, but I don't see. Maybe I'm not in the locker room all the time either, but. I haven't seen that. It would be quite interesting, I'm sure, if there, and maybe this is coming down the road, if there's more of a Muslim presence. Who knows? But a lot of guys are from the Bible Belt, and that's where they come from. That's where good football players are. So.
Don, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.